everyone. Welcome to Yoga with Danielle. Today we're going to use a few props for our practice, and one being your yoga mat, which you already have. You are welcome to place another mat or a blanket, something soft for you to practice on top of, and then the mat is going to be one of our props for today. And then also, if you don't have a block, you can just grab a pillow, which will do the exact same thing, just bringing the floor a little bit closer to us, and using it to help us relax a little bit more. Okay, so we're gonna start with our mat rolled up first, and just so you can kind of see how tightly I have the mat rolled up here. Again, you can make it looser. Roll if you want to. I just made mine nice and tight, just brings it a little bit up higher, whereas if it is rolled up looser, it'll make your mat a little bit flatter. Okay, so we're gonna start with the mat. We're gonna lay it down on the ground like this, okay, and it's gonna act almost as like a bolster for us, okay, and then we're gonna take about a hand or fist print, okay, from our low back from the mat, okay. And then again, this you can adjust as you slowly come down onto your mat, okay? So we're gonna slowly roll down, knees are bent, slowly roll down along your spine. The mat will be up against, okay? Make sure that your head is supported again by the mat. And this is where, if it is not, okay, you can use your pillow or block under your head for support, okay? But try to see if you can get it along your spine to support your head, neck, and shoulders here, okay? And just pause for a moment with your knees bent, okay? Maybe adjust, kind of notice it might feel a little uneven here, and try to center yourself as much as you can on the mat. And then we're going to slowly bring the soles of our feet together, knees out nice and wide, okay? So we come into Supta Baddha Konasana in this actual heart opener here, okay? Place your hands just anywhere on your body, on your ribs, on your hips, maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your navel, whatever feels best for your body. Okay. Just take some big deep breaths here, just in through your nose and out through your mouth just a few times. Good. Inhaling in, exhaling out. Good. Inhaling in, exhaling out. And we're going to slowly start to come into our Ujjayi breath. So we're going to inhale in through our nose, and we're going to exhale out through our mouth. This next round, we're going to inhale in through our nose. And as we exhale out through our mouth, we're going to pause about halfway, seal our lips, and finish the exhale out through our nose. So inhale in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Seal your lips, finish exhaling out through your nose. Inhaling in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. About halfway, seal your lips. Practice exhaling out through your nose. Good. A few more rounds just like that. Breathing in through your nose. Exhaling out through your mouth. Halfway, seal your lips. Exhale out through your nose. As it starts to become a little bit more comfortable, maybe start to just breathe in through your nose and exhale out through your nose. Breathing in through your nose, sealing your lips, exhaling out through your nose. Inhaling in through your nose, exhaling out through your nose. Still keeping that vibration through the back of the throat, that feeling of exhaling out through your mouth, but through your nose. Okay, that's our Ujjayi breath, our victorious breath, our victory breath. And of course, at any point in the practice, you need to, release your breath through your mouth. Go for it, okay? It's okay. We strive to practice breathing in and out through our nose as best we can, but of course, there are times that it feels really great to exhale out through the mouth, almost like that sigh of relief. Okay, letting go of tension. So go for it. Exhale out through the mouth when you need to. Okay. Using your hands, we're going to guide our knees back together. Okay, just slowly use the strength of your arms. Slowly stretch your arms up over your head. Okay, and let's straighten our legs out onto the mat, only if that feels okay, okay? So legs can be straight, knees can stay bent, whatever feels best for you. I'm gonna flex through my feet nice and strong here, and then I'm gonna slowly come into cactus arms, bending my elbows, opening up through my chest, and then slowly reaching my arms back up over my head. Good, bending my elbows, cactus arms, opening up through the chest, slowly reaching my arms back up over my head. Good, last one, cactus arms. Arms reach back up over my head. Slowly reaching my arms down by my hips, bending your knees in, planting your feet onto the mat. Good. From here, arms are going to reach up over your head. And we're going to circle our arms down and around towards our hips, okay? And if you need to, for space, if your arms are bent, that's totally fine. So 3 circles in this direction, okay? Really focusing on opening up the chest and the shoulders. Good. Pausing with the arms up over your head, and we'll slowly reverse the circle. Arms move down by your hips, opening your arms out nice and wide, slowly up over your head. Good. 3 times in this direction, just nice and slow. Just opening your arms up and over your head. Good. Last one. Good. Arms slowly move down by your hips. Good. From here, we're going to slowly roll off of our mat. Okay. Rolling onto your side. Pause for a moment here. Good. And then using your hands, we're going to slowly press right on up. Nice and slow. Okay. Good. Okay. And then we're going to slowly just come into hands and knees. And you can just do this over your rolled up mat. Okay. If it's acting up and wants to roll away, you can always, again, place a block so it helps keep it in place, okay? So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, inhaling, looking up towards the sky, exhaling, rounding your spine. Good, so inhaling cow, good, exhaling cat. Good, just a few more rounds here. Okay, great, and then we're gonna slowly come into child's pose. So 2 different options here, okay? You can slowly come into child's pose, big toes together, knees out nice and wide, and then keeping that mat underneath you so that you rest your chest over the mat, okay? So that's option 1. Option 2 is to bring the mat behind your heels, okay? So the mat is going to go on top of your heels here, okay, or the top of your calves and ankles, and then you'll slowly press back into child's pose this way, and then you can always use your pillow or blanket as well as you come into child's pose. Okay, so my pillow is going to go under my head, the mat is underneath my ankles and calves here, acting as a little bit of support. You can always bring the mat closer up if your hips are extra tight. Okay, just pausing here in child's pose. Okay, both variations work. We're going to hold here for 5 deep breaths. Okay, and again, checking back in with that Ujjayi breath. Good, here's your 3rd breath. Two more, inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out through the nose. Good, last one, full deep inhales and exhales. Good, slowly take your time. We're going to shift forward. Okay, moving that mat pillow out of the way. Okay, and we're going to place the mat under our hands. So hands are going to go on top here. My fingertips are going to gently touch the mat here. Okay, so I'm taking the crease out of my wrist and rolling my hands forward. Again, fingertips are just gently touching the mat. Okay, we're going to do another round of cat and cow. And of course, if this variation doesn't work for your hands or your wrist, okay, just go back to neutral, regular tabletop, okay? Good, so just moving in and out of cat and cow here with a little bit of a lift under your hands. Good, okay, and then we're gonna come into neutral tabletop, and then we're gonna place the mat behind our heels, okay? Okay, same thing. Inhaling, looking up towards the sky. Exhaling, rounding your spine. Inhaling, arching up. Exhaling, rounding your spine. Last one, inhaling, arching up. Exhaling, rounding your spine. We're going to make our way into downward facing dog with a little heel assist here. So as you lift your hips up, you're going to place your heels onto the mat. Okay, and then again, you can adjust if you need to. So my downward dog feels a little short, so I'm gonna walk my hands forward. Okay, and then just resting your heels on the mat here as you press your hips up towards the sky. Getting a nice little stretch here through the backs of the legs. Check in with your breath. Ground through each fingertip. Okay, seal the bottom part of your rib cage in. Lift up through your kneecaps so quads and legs are engaged here. Nice active downward dog even though we're resting our heels on the mat. Okay, good. Okay, very slowly bend your knees. We're going to walk our hands towards our feet, towards the back of the mat. Okay, good. So heels are still on the mat here. Keep your knees bent, keep your fingertips grounded onto the ground. Okay, drop your head, make it nice and heavy. And then very slowly step your feet off of the rolled up mat. Okay. Hanging on to opposite elbows here, just draping over your hamstrings, rocking from side to side, from right to left, just shifting. Just awakening the hamstrings, lengthening the spine. Releasing your hands down, we're going to bend our knees and slowly roll up to come all the way up to standing. Take your time, moving nice and slow. Good, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to use, again, the mat still as our prop here, okay? So you're going to keep it in this direction, okay, horizontally. And we're going to step the balls of our feet now on the mat, okay? So now our heels are going to be connected to the ground. So 1 foot at a time, of course, if you need to use the wall or a chair in front of you, anything, we're going to place the balls of our feet and toes on the mat and then the other foot here, okay? So my feet are still about hip distance apart. I'm going to soften the bend in my knees. And then this might be a big enough stretch for me here. You can stay here. This is a big calf stretch, okay? Especially if you're doing a lot of walking, running, even sitting. My calves are still really tight, okay? Otherwise, staying here, or you're going to start to hinge from your hips. We're going to start to reach towards the ground and coming into our standing forward fold here. Okay, dropping your head, making it nice and heavy. Again, my knees are softly bent, okay? And as I start to feel more comfortable, maybe as I start to open up a little bit more, I'll start to tread through my legs. So maybe I'm bending one knee then the other. Okay, it's not necessary. Okay, it's really intense. So really listen to your body. And again, you get a huge stretch even with your knees bent, okay? Soft knees is absolutely appropriate. Legs do not have to be straight here. Okay, and again, I'm really feeling this in my calves, even in my ankles, my Achilles tendon, okay? And then of course, it's a huge hamstring opener as well. Okay, let's stay for just a few more deep breaths, checking in, breathing deeply. Subtle movements, always welcome, always invited. Deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the nose, even out through the mouth. Okay, from here, we're going to step our feet off of the mat, okay? So gently just step off 1 foot, then the other. Soften your knees, use your hands to help you roll up to come all the way up to standing. Okay, and then just pause for a moment, just notice how your legs feel here. You can even shake them out if you need to. Grounding through your feet, sitting up nice and tall, standing up nice and tall. Okay, good, and let's just fold forward. Okay, nice big forward fold, hands to the hips, knees can be bent. Slowly reaching down towards your mat or towards the ground, okay, whatever feels good here. And then just notice how this forward fold feels versus your first one and that second one, okay? And then if you want to, you can start to bend and tread through your feet, tread through your knees, shifting from side to side, hanging onto opposite elbows. Again, whatever works for you here for this nice, big, deep forward fold. Good. Slowly rising back up, coming all the way back up to standing. Take your time. shaking your legs out. Good, really nice. Okay, great. Okay, so from here, we're going to come into pigeon pose, okay? And again, we're still gonna use our mat rolled up here, and now we're gonna incorporate our pillow or block, okay? So, we're gonna come back down to the ground onto hands and knees, okay? And of course, you can come into this through downward dog. It might be a little bit easier, okay? Pick your poison, okay? So from here, I'm going to step my right foot forward over the mat, okay? So my right foot steps up. Okay, and then very gently we're going to walk this right foot over to the left, okay? And again, it's going to be angled a little bit. My left foot's coming towards the mat, okay? I'm bending my knee, and here I am in prep for pigeon, okay? My hips are lifted at the moment so that you can see kind of where this is going here. The mat is going to go underneath my hips, okay? So I'm going to walk this left leg back, okay? I'm going to drop my hips onto the mat, okay? So my right hip is supported by the mat. My left hip, the front of my left hip is also supported, okay? And again, don't worry if it's like totally perfect. Maybe your left hip might be lifted a little bit. That's fine, okay? As we start to open up here, we'll start to find that connection to the mat, okay? So hips are lifted and supported by the mat. Roll your shoulders, lift your chest and your heart, okay? Start to walk your hands forward. Okay, coming into your sleepy pigeon, okay? Forearms can be bent, arms can be extended out, and then this is where I'm going to use the pillow or block, and I'm going to slide it, depending on how big it is, I'm going to slide it so that it's under my chest and supporting my head, okay? So that I can feel nice and relaxed as best as I can here in my pigeon pose, okay? And I'm just going to place one side of my face down onto the pillow or the mat, okay? You can choose forehead down or chin down, whatever feels best, okay? And then try to relax, try to breathe, try to soften into this pose. Okay, don't feel like you have to find total stillness. You're welcome to oscillate, maybe shift your hips from side to side, okay? Always use your hands to walk your hands in, to lift up if it's too deep of a stretch, okay? And remember, my front leg is at a pretty big angle here, so my foot is pretty close to my left hip, okay? If you want deeper of a stretch, you'll walk this right foot forward for a 90-degree angle, but it is not necessary, okay? It's more important that you protect this front knee here as you're in your pigeon pose. Yeah, so just be mindful. You might look a little bit higher. You might stack some pillows. Okay, stack your blocks. Don't worry what it looks like. Just embody the pose. Experience the posture. Okay, and remember, we're always working in this fine, it's a very fine line of being uncomfortable, okay, and then being uncomfortable where it's causing pain, okay? And we never want to be in that pain area, but being uncomfortable, that's okay, that's good, okay? That pushes us forward, that may help us move past part of the stretch, getting into deeper parts of the muscle, the tissue, okay? So again, just really tune into your body. And we start to do that by listening to our breath and finding that rhythm of our breath. Okay? So again, take it all back to the breath, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose as best you can. Inhaling in, good, exhaling out. Letting your mind and your body connect here in your pigeon. Finding release through that right glute. Stay here for about another minute, okay? Allow yourself to breathe, to release. Stay with the pose. Slowly start to bring your hands back under your shoulders. Gently rise up. Move nice and slow. Okay. See if you can lift up first here, coming into just like a nice little back bend. Okay, opening up through the chest. Okay, take your time. Okay, we're gonna come on out of this, okay? And I know we got a few little props here, so go slow, move slowly. You can always come back through downward dog, okay? I'm gonna come through tabletop here, and I'm gonna do a round of cat and cow, and again, your choice. You can always, shift in and out of downward dog into tabletop. Okay, great. Okay, and then now we're just gonna move to the other side, okay? So we're gonna step our left foot forward. Okay, good. And then gently, we're gonna walk the left foot over towards the right. And again, remember your leg does not have to stay at this like 90 degree, okay? It does not work for my knee. So I'm going to tuck this left leg in a little bit more so you can kind of see I'm at like a pretty sharp low angle, like 45-degree angle here. My knee is definitely more forward than my ankle, okay? But again, as you start to open up, maybe that shin moves forward, okay? Maybe it stays tucked under, okay? This will be a nice little angle here. So again, mat is still rolled up under your hips, and I'm gonna walk this right knee back, okay? So I'm gonna bump the right hip back so my hips have somewhere to go, okay? And then I'm just moving the mat under my left hip so I'm supported on the left side here. And then I'm just gonna kind of shift around a little bit to make sure that eventually as this right leg softens, my right hip, more of like the top of my quad is touching the mat as well. Okay, and then before we go into our sleepy pigeon, roll the shoulders, lift the chest and the heart. Pause here for a moment, breathe. Good, then slowly start to walk your hands forward. Maybe they come onto the forearms, okay? Maybe they extend all the way out, okay? Or maybe again you use your prop, okay? Like I'm going to bring the pillow to help me, again, soften into my chest, using it to support my head and my neck. Okay, and then just taking my time here as I come into my full pigeon, finding release, okay, adjusting. Good. And be patient on this left side or your second side, okay? Be very patient, okay? So already, like, I'm judging this left side, like, oh, why is it so tight? Like, oh my goodness, it feels so different. But, we stayed for a while on that first side, so we're going to do the same thing on the second side, okay? So take your time, let your body open up slowly and naturally, and doing that by connecting to your breath. And again, it's not necessary to find total stillness. You can shift around from side to side, but make sure you're making these choices, right? There's a difference between like fidgeting, doing unnecessary movement, whereas like inviting movement that you need so that you can experience a posture. So make that a choice, okay? And that could mean easing out of the pose or deepening into the pose, coming up onto your forearms or your hands, taking a break if you need to. And again, staying with this left side, this second side. Let your mind and your body start to connect. Allow yourself to deepen your breath. Experiencing the pose. Noticing any sensations coming up. And again, we're going to stay here for about another minute or so. So again, just find that softness. Let yourself enjoy this restorative practice. start to deepen your breath. Good, and then start to bring your hands under your shoulders. Move slow here. Just moving your props out of the way, and again, try to come up to the slight little back bend here first, okay? So just coming upright. And then take your time, slowly coming on out of your pigeon pose, okay? And again, any variation here, you can come into downward dog. I'm gonna come back through tabletop. Just going to do another round of cat and cow. Okay, great. Okay, good, you guys. Okay, we're gonna make our way on to our seat. Okay, we're gonna keep that mat rolled up again. Okay, still, I should say. And I'm just gonna sit over it. Okay, so I'm gonna have the mat under my knees. Okay, so I'm gonna straighten my legs. And again, this is just gonna kind of lift the floor up and kind of give that softness in the knees here. Okay, so here's our sun salutations for today, okay? So sitting up nice and tall, make sure you're sitting right on top of those sit bones. And then flex through your feet, okay, so like you're standing. Arms are gonna reach up over your head. And let's flex our hands up towards the sky. Okay, and then here's your downward dog, okay? Here's that nice long spine, okay? Hips are lifted, backs of the legs are nice and long, even with a slight bend, okay? That's still long legs, okay? Drop the shoulders, keep pressing and flexing through the hands. Okay, so here's your downward dog. Breathing in, exhaling out. 2 more deep breaths. Inhaling in, exhaling out. Last one. Good, exhaling, slowly bringing your hands together at your heart center. Inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Drop your head, make it nice and heavy. You can grab your ankles or the outer edges of your feet. And then gently just shift from side to side. Okay, again, this can be small movement. Good. I'm exaggerating a little bit just so you can see it on the video a little bit better. But again, you're welcome to make this very small movement here, okay? Good. Inhaling, we're going to lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Fingertips to your shins, roll your shoulders, flatten your spine. Okay, there's your halfway lift. Exhaling, fold forward, go a little bit deeper. Inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Flex through your feet. Flex through the palms of your hands. Downward dog, 3 deep breaths. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. Drop the shoulders down. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. Last one. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. Inhaling in. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Good. And again, gently shifting from side to side, shaking your head yes, shaking your head no. Good. This time I'm going to grab a hold of the balls of my feet. So my hands are going to come around the tops, the balls of my feet here, okay? I'm going to lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, and again, it's going to look a little bit different. I might lift my heels up only if that feels okay, or keep your heels grounded. Lift up, exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Good. Inhaling to rise up. Okay, arms up over your head, flex through your palms, flex through your feet, downward facing dog. Good. 3 deep breaths. And if your shoulders are starting to feel this, arms a little bit forward in front of you is absolutely appropriate, okay? That is absolutely fine. Just roll those shoulders back, plug those shoulders and arms into the sockets here. Good, last breath, inhaling in. Good, exhaling out. Inhaling in, hands at your heart center. Okay, last one. This time we're gonna point our feet. Inhaling, arms up over your head. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Again, rocking from side to side, shifting around. Good, shaking your head yes, shaking your head no. I'm just going to stretch the tops of my feet. You're welcome to do that as well. Good. And we're going to come up into that halfway lift. Your choice, fingertips to your shins or grabbing the balls of your feet. Okay, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Starting to find a little bit of that cow action in your spine. It might not look like it. Okay, but pretending. Good. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to rise up, last downward dog. Flex through your feet, flex through your hands. Good. 3 deep breaths. Last one. Good. Drop the shoulders. Inhaling in. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Good. From here, we're going to bend our knees. Shift your hips a little bit forward here. Okay, mat's still going to be really close to your hips. We're going to roll down onto our backs nice and slow. Okay, setting up here for bridge pose. Supported bridge with the mat under our hips. Okay, so lifting your hips up. Go ahead and slide that mat under your hips. Okay, and it'll be a little bit closer maybe towards your sacrum. And again, it's just a nice little lift here. If you want a higher lift, you can maybe use your pillow instead. Okay, I'm just going to kind of stick with the mat here just as a theme of one of our props, okay? Okay, good. Staying here, this might be the pose. Oh, I'm already feeling like a nice release in my low back. Okay, so you're welcome to stay with your knees bent, or you can slowly start to straighten your legs out onto the mat. Okay, and you can do that just slowly, just one leg at a time, just to make sure it feels okay. And then as we're straightening the leg here, we're gonna get this nice big release through the psoas, through the front of the hips. Even though the lift is small, it is mighty, okay? So let your legs relax. Okay, let your hips feel open, as in like the front of your hips are open. Good. Arms again can be anywhere you like. That feels good. They can even touch your body. That's fine. Just make sure your mat isn't too far up on like your low back. Okay, again, you run it really under your hips, under like your pelvis. Okay, and that will feel better. So if you're kind of not sure about finding that sweet spot, you might have to move the mat farther down towards your glutes. That should feel a little bit better on your low back rather than having it up higher. Okay. Okay. We're gonna hold here. Relaxing, whatever leg position you're in, whatever arm position you're in, just feeling this release through the low back, through the sacrum and the hips, through the front of the hips, the front of the body. Connecting back with your breath. Nice, slow, deep breath. Good. Slowly start to bend one leg in at a time, planting your feet onto the mat. We're going to lift our hips up and we're going to slide the mat out towards our heels. Good. From here, we're going to take our pillow or block. We're going to bring it in between our inner thighs here, okay? We're going to hug our knees into our chest. So again, kind of squeeze the pillow or block, and then we're going to slowly let our knees fall over to the right. Good. And then adjust if you need to, okay? Make sure your knees are stacked, hips are stacked, and then we're using this pillow to kind of help keep everything stacked up, and we're going to slowly come into a twist, okay? Left arm can reach out to the left. Focus can be anywhere that feels best for your head, neck, and shoulders. So you can look to the left, or you can look up towards the sky. Good. Breathing deeply here. Keep squeezing that pillow or block, okay? Getting a nice big twist, nice big stretch here. Good, just a few more deep breaths on this side. Okay, and then we're going to slowly come on out of this nice and slow, okay? I'm going to keep my knees bent. I'm just going to straighten it out just because I need a little extra room to go to the other side, okay? And again, knees folded as best you can, okay? Pillow in between the legs, letting your knees fall to the left. Okay, adjust as you need to so that your hips are stacked, your knees are stacked. Squeeze the pillow or block. Reach that right arm out to the right, and then twisting, keeping a nice active squeeze on the pillow here as you come into your twist. And again, focus can be anywhere that feels best for your head, neck, and shoulders. Okay. Good. So breathe deeply. Squeezing the pillow as best you can. Good, and just a few more deep breaths on this side. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhale, slowly release, coming back to the center, nice and slow. Okay, moving that pillow just off to the side here. We're going to hug our knees into our chest, give ourselves a nice big hug here, gently rock from side to side. And then we're going to grab onto the backs of our legs and we're going to rock forward and backwards just a few times, okay? And we're going to end seated today, okay? So sitting up nice and tall. If you'd like, okay, keeping the theme here, I'm going to use both pillow and mat, okay? So I'm going to sit on my pillow, okay? And then I'm going to use the mat for supporting under my thigh bones here, okay? So you can sit with the soles of your feet together, knees out nice and wide, and then again you have the mat here to kind of support your quads, okay, your thigh bones. Okay, but I'm going to cross my legs, and again I have a little bit of lift here with the mat under my legs to keep my knees lifted just a little bit here, okay? And of course the mat, the block or the pillow, okay? All right, so sitting up nice and tall. Bring one hand onto your heart, one hand onto your navel. And just take a moment just to notice how you feel in this restorative practice. Okay? We didn't do a ton of postures, but postures that we could do every day to make a difference in our body. Teaching us ways to reconnect, realign, recenter ourselves to ourselves. Okay? We do that by our physical practice. And we also do that by our breath work, our ujjayi breath work that we did, our pranayama. And bringing your hands together at your heart center and just allowing yourself to be in gratitude for your practice. Being in gratitude for your body and for showing up on your mat today. Take a nice big deep inhale in through your nose. Big exhale out through your mouth. And slowly just begin to smile in honor of your practice. Namaste. Go in peace. Shanti, everyone. Thank you. We'll see you next time.